Hello, everyone. My guest today is Thibaud Clement. He's a self-taught programmer and began building software to make Naomi's job easier in 2015. Back then, the pair was managing a marketing agency and developed an in-house solution to streamline the process of creating and sharing editorial calendars with their clients. Encouraged by early feedback and peers about the prototype, they launched and made it available to other marketing teams. This company today is called Loomly. All right, Thibaud, you ready to take us to the top?
Yes, sir.
Now, who is Naomi? Is this your partner?
Yeah, she's my spouse
I
and
see.
my and the co-founder of Loomly.
That's so sweet. So you built your spouse software, and now you guys are co-founders.
Yeah, I guess we can feel that Loomly is kind of the most romantic gesture I've ever done.
Here's the real question: who has more equity?
Well, we are exactly on par, both of
Wow,
us.
50-50. So what if you disagree on something? How do you break the decision, the tie?
We have a board. Well, usually we agree, but we have a board in case something happens. So like any kind of startup that is venture backed.
How'd you build the board?
Well, it's people who have been following us and helping us since the beginning. So it made sense to have them join the board.
How many people are on the board?
Four.
Four people. Well, that's like rule number one of boards: is never have an even number.
Well, it's not because there's an even number that of people that we have an even number of voices, of votes. So that's
Well, but
how
usually
we.
people do 3, 5, 7 because the whole purpose of a board is to split a tie. But if then the board could tie 2-2, then what? What do you do?
Well, like I said, we don't have the same number of votes. I have more votes.
Oh, I see. I see. I see. I understand. Okay, very cool. Let's talk about the product. So what does the company do?
We are what we call a brand success platform, and so what we do is that we help marketing teams streamline collaboration, along the entire content publishing cycle. So we help them manage their assets, come up with ideas for content, actually produce the content with some editing tools, and then we generate mockups for them so that they can share the content with their team, make sure that everyone is on board, everyone sees, what the posts are going to look like, they can approve, and then you can publish and you can respond to comments and you can, of course, measure your success, and then you start all over again.
hmm I mean, so is this like a more sophisticated version of like Hootsuite?
Yeah, in a way, you can think of it as like Hootsuite meeting GitHub in the sense that, you kind of stage your content, you can review and approve it, and then you distribute it.
I see. Interesting. Okay, and give me a general sense of what customers pay per month to use the technology.
$50 on average.
1.5 or 5.0?
50.
5.0. Interesting. And when did you land your first paying customer? What year?
April 2016.
And was that the first year you guys had the business?
Yes, it was 2 months after launching.
Wow. Okay. So how did you get your first customer 2 months after launch?
Well, it's we kind of opened up the platform in public beta, and there are people who started signing up, and from day one we had a paywall. It was $12 per month because we wanted to make sure that people were interested in using and paying for the product. And at that time, the free trial that we had was 2 months. Now it's 15 days, but at that time it was 2 months. So we launched in February. 2 months later, we had the first paying customer.
Okay. But where did you get that customer from? That doesn't just magically happen. You have to make it happen.
Well, Noemi and I, we used to have an advertising agency. So we were in all those, social media marketing and digital marketing groups online. And so once, we built the product, because we built it for ourselves in the first place, we started to share it in those groups. And we said, hey, we built this tool for us. Are you interested in giving it a try? Then, people started signing up, and they started saying, yes, I've been looking for that for 10 years, or I've been trying 10 different products and none of them is doing what you do. So that's how it started.
How much revenue did the agency do in 2015?
Well, that's usually something we don't share because it's kind of not relevant to
Well,
Loomly.
it actually is, right? So when you look at the success of a lot of the largest SaaS founders, Hootsuite included, they usually start as an agency. And then
Mhm.
there's a very tricky moment for the founders where you have to figure out, do we stop the agency and go all in on the SaaS? Do we do
Yeah.
both? Or do we kill the SaaS and stick doing the agency? So by asking how much revenue you did, it helps me understand what you guys gave up to go all in on the SaaS.
Yeah, we had an agency in France, we had an agency here in the US. It was enough to kind of sustain everyone. We were growing nicely, but it was very clear once we started having feedback on the product that the product would be just had just more potential because it was basically allowing us to do what we were doing for a couple of clients, but at scale. And
I
today
see.
we kind of serve 7,000 clients, around the world. So that's it kind of proved to be true.
So this wasn't a situation where the agency was doing 10 million a year in revenue. You shut it down and go all in on
No,
Loomly. It was like a smaller
no,
than
no.
what, like $1 million a
Yes.
year or less.
Yeah, exactly.
I see. I see. Okay, that makes more sense. So let me know. Second question is, did you use agency cash flow to invest in the software at the beginning, or how did you fund the MVP?
Yeah, that's exactly what we did. So I wrote the first line of code in August 2015, and we only incorporated what is now Loomly in July 2016. So during that entire time, we were kind of working by day on the agency, and then with whatever money we were making, we were kind of financing, like the hiring of our first engineer and some marketing and all the expenses that come with building
So it
software.
was
So
just
that's
you
exactly
two.
how we did
It was just you two at the agency then.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
In the US, but yeah.
Well, how many total people were full time at the agency?
It depends on, it's like agencies, they always kind of go up and down, but it was like, anywhere between 4 and 6.
I see. I see. So did you move most of them over now? They're still with you on the SaaS product?
No, because it's different skill sets, so only
Okay.
Noemi and I moved from the agency to
I see. Okay. And so flesh out the team today. How many total people on the team?
we're 7.
7. Okay.
There are I kind of oversee the product, and there are 3 engineers with me, and then Noemi kind of oversees everything on the marketing side, and there are 2 customer success managers with her, and we are kind of we're currently opening 4 positions, so growing
Oh,
pretty
wow.
fast now.
Okay. So the first customers came from your agency customers. It sounds like you just upsold them from agency to SaaS. Is that accurate?
Um, I wouldn't say so. Like we did try the product with our agency clients to get some feedback. So they did try it first, but I wouldn't say they were the first paying customers. The first paying customers were people that we didn't even know from those social media marketing groups that started using the product through the trial, and who decided it was interesting enough to pay for it.
Can you name one or two of those groups? We're talking like Social Media Examiner Facebook group or Amy Porterfield's group or like the Laura Roeder crew. Like,
Yeah, it's this kind of thing. Noemi would know that better than I do because she was the one managing that, and she's the one who is involved in all those groups. But it's that's the idea on Facebook and on LinkedIn and even sometimes on Reddit.
yep. Okay. Very cool. Now, you've built this business up. Those were the first 100 customers. How many are you serving today?
Over 7,000, actually going to 8,000.
Okay, got it. So 7,000 paid. Do you have a free plan?
No,
Oh,
we have a 15-day free trial, and
oh,
everyone is
I
paying.
see. I see. I see. I see. Do you require a credit card at the start of the free trial?
Nope,
Tell me,
only when they want to keep using the product.
walk me through that decision. Everyone does this differently.
Yeah, well, we think that what is important is that we make the free trial as seamless as possible, so
Yeah.
that if you hear the value proposition in one way or another, you come to the website, you find it's interesting, you sign up for your free trial. You don't need to put in a credit card with a company that you don't know yet. You can try the product with unlimited features. You can invite as many people as you want, so that you have the actual feel of what a product can do. And then at the end of your 15-day free trial, if you enjoy it, if you have, if your team is happy with the product, then you can keep using it. And then that's the moment when we say, hey, you can add your credit card and you can select any plan that you like.
Well, what besides time? So 15 days runs out on everybody, but you probably know if someone's going to convert or not based off usage metrics. What
Yes,
are
sir.
what are the usage metrics you look at where you know if they do them, they're probably going to convert?
Usually, it's how many pieces of content they have created. It can be social media posts. It can be ads. And another good indicator is usually how many people they have invited in their team to join the platform.
I see. Okay. So 7,000 customers today. You said going to 8,000. Help us understand growth. How many customers exactly a year ago?
Usually we look at annual recurring revenue. We are between 4 and 5, and last year, we're already 2021. So I would say end of 2019, we were at around $2 million in
Oh,
ARR. So we grew 100% in 2020,
yeah,
and we
that's
think we're going
impressive.
to grow another 100% in 2021.
So you think by December of this year, you can get up to an $8 million run rate, something like that?
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, that's incredible. Okay, yeah. So just to be clear, 7,000 customers, $50 ARPU. That means about $350,000 a month in revenue, $4.2 million run rate, up 100% year over year. All this growth can't just happen from Facebook groups. So how do you add how did you add your last 1,000 customers?
It's a mix of things. I mean, you're a good marketer yourself, so we have different channels. A lot of content. Some media and podcasts who want to have us with them. It usually helps a lot. We have terrific reviews on all the websites like G2 Crowd and Capterra, and we do some AdWords. So all of that kind of works together, and then. One thing that also helps a lot is that people who try the product, then they refer other people, they invite other people, and that's usually how it works.
Yep. Do you have any like sort of powered by or any sort of like these sorts of things, product marketing built in?
We have a URL shortener, which is loom.ly. And so whenever you create a post and you want to shorten your URL, then you will have a loom.ly URL. And so then you can go, if you click on one of those links, of course you go to the URL that has been shortened. But if you are curious, you can go to loom.ly and see that it's about Loom.
Yeah, interesting. And when you look at just your paid spend, what are you spending on average CAC wise to get a new $50 a month customer?
Well, that's usually something that we would rather not share, but we are well above the famous LTV over CAC ratio of 3.
Well, LTV to CAC doesn't mean a lot if it takes you 3 years to recover the CAC. So it's way more important to understand how fast payback period is, right? So maybe
5
not
months.
5 months is what you're at. So you're comfortable spending $250, $300 to get a customer. Got it. Now it sounds like you've raised capital. How much have you raised?
A bit above $3 million in equity.
Okay, and why? I mean, this doesn't feel like it's really hard technically. I mean, it's hard, but you don't need to raise a bunch of capital. Why'd you raise?
It's a big market. If you want to go after a big market, you also want to have the resources to grow fast. So, we also had we had exceptional investors and entrepreneurs around us who, looked into what we were doing and recommended that, we accelerate. And so when we kind of, ran the numbers, it did make sense. And so, that's probably, part of the reason why we're able to be where we are now and grow at the pace that we are growing now.
Mm-hmm. And was that 3 million just done recently in one round, or was it broken up?
No, it was a couple of rounds, and it was between 2016 and 2019, all with the same investors.
Oh, I see. Okay, great. Now, are they still sort of doing like unpriced safes, or have you had a priced round already?
No, it's only a seed and it's a safe.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay. So, I mean, do you have any plans? I mean, great growth, right? Any plans to raise this year?
We don't need to raise this year. We are growing pretty well. If at some point there is an interesting opportunity that comes up, we'll of course look at it. But it's not what we need at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Have you set yourself up with basically unlimited runway? Are you profitable today?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, how do you, when investors and VCs put money in, they really want you to be like foot on the gas. I mean, do your board meetings, do you ever hear something like, Thibaud, we shouldn't be profitable. We should be investing all in growth. Like we should be raising capital. You're growing. Go, go, go.
Well, we are actually, we're good on both fronts. We are good on growth. We are good on profit. So we have found like the right balance for us. The board is on board. We are kind of, maximizing the growth that we can absorb at the moment. All seems pretty organic and feels pretty good so far.
But I mean, once you get on the VC path, especially, raising $3 million, I mean, and numbers that at this level, like $50 million in ARR, I mean, you like growth rates have to be like even larger. I mean, 100% year over year is fine, especially if you're bootstrapped, but you've raised. So like, how do you go, instead of finishing this year with 8 million, how do you finish it with 12 million?
Well, we keep improving the product. The 100% growth rate is our conservative, forecast. We feel like we can do better than that as we keep improving the product and the KPI kind of self-improve. So it's not necessarily a matter of how much we raise and what the investors want, because they kind of trust us on that front.
What would you tell founders that say, I know I don't want to work on that project. Someone's already done it before. I mean, many could argue the space you're playing in has been done over and over, but you've built a unique mousetrap that's given you 8,000 customers. What advice would you give those entrepreneurs?
Well, the first thing is I'm not on the team of people who say, if there is it's a crowded space, you shouldn't go. I'm actually on the team that says if it's a crowded space, you should go. Because it means there is demand. So that's number one. Number two is when you do go on a crowded market, there are still ways that you can win depending on what others are not doing right. And so, for instance, it can be, having a great UI and a great UX, so that, when people start using the product, they don't feel like, deterred. They actually want to keep using it. And so that's one of the things that I believe we do quite well based on the feedback that we have. And the last thing, and I believe this is probably the most important, it actually doesn't matter what size of market you are on, is just try to provide great customer service. With great customer service, you can, in my opinion, you can beat pretty much any competitor.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, this is what I would say. Go to the market, even if there are other people. Do better than what other people are doing in terms of UI and ease of use. And for sure, beat everyone in terms of customer service.
Great customer service should mean lower churn than average in terms of other competitors at this sort of price point. What's your churn look like today?
It's on the lower end of the benchmark for SaaS SMB, which is between 3 and 7% for reference. So we are on the lower end of that.
Got it. And that's like 4 or 5% churn monthly or annually? Monthly. Okay, got it. Very cool. Now, do you have any obvious sort of expansion revenue opportunities where you can take a $50 a month client and upsell them to a $500 a month client, or is that coming?
Yeah, that's usually the more successful our users and customers are. The more features they want to use, the more people they want to invite in the team, and sometimes they are also expanding the number of social accounts that they use. And so all of those things are a great path for the users.
Mm-hmm. What is the customer? Don't name them, obviously, but the customer paying you the most. How much are they paying you?
Something in the range of 20,000 per year.
And why is that? Just a lot of seats or something else?
Yeah. Mainly, yeah.
Yeah. And very cool, Thibaud. This is great. Let's wrap up with the famous 5. Number 1, favorite business book.
I love How to Win Friends and Influence People. I don't know if it's a business book, but I love it.
Of course it is. Yeah. Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Not necessarily. I mean, like everyone, I like Paul Graham and Elon Musk. Not very, eccentric.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building Loomly?
GitHub, of course.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
I try to get 8.
And what's your situation? Married, single, kids?
I'm married to my co-founder.
Married. Any kids yet or no?
Yeah, 1 kid.
1 kiddo. And how old are you?
2.5.
Sorry, how old are you?
Oh, how am I? Sorry. I'm 33.
33. Last question. What's something you wish you knew when you were 20, Thibaud?
Just don't try to please your friends or your family or like your investors or whatever. Just try to please the customers. It will save you a lot of time and hurdles.
Guys, Loomly helps you schedule and plan your social media calendar. They've just passed a $4 million run rate, up 100% year over year from a $2 million run rate. Got their first 100 customers by basically shutting down their agency in 2016, launching this, had a paywall and $12 a month price point from the beginning. So they had validation early on. Now today, again, growing rapidly, almost between 7,000 and 8,000 customers, $3 million raised with just a team of 7. So healthy revenue per employee. They've been very capital efficient, spending $250 to get a new $50 a month customer. We'll see what Thibaud does next. Thibaud, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thanks for having me, Nathan. It was a pleasure.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com /Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.